When the schedule dropped for the NFL, it was obvious that the Jets were going to be facing a gauntlet of quarterbacks in their first 6 games. So even with Aaron Rodgers, I think we would be happy with 3-3 at this point. What is going on, Jet fans? As always, I'm Pat. This is JetCast, and we're going to be talking about Zach Wilson and my expectations for him coming out of the bye week. Now, this kid's been through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows possible. He came into the league behind Trevor Lawrence. There was a lot of expectations surrounding him. You know, his rookie preseason was still altered by the COVID protocols. His sophomore campaign didn't get off to a good start with that meniscus injury against the Eagles in preseason. Up until this season, Zach wasn't able to participate in a full off-season program, to be fair. And while Mike LaFleur did him no favors, Zach's play has been abysmal up until this point. Now, his role this season was supposed to be drastically different, right? He was supposed to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, and barring an injury, we would never see Zach play this season. But obviously, you know, that changed 4 plays into Monday Night Football against the Bills. Zach was thrust into the spotlight again, playing quarterback for the most talked about team with a huge target on their back. Zach's 2023 season has been up and down, or bumpy, up until this point, right? So we had a decent performance against the Bills, but that quickly left a lot of fans' minds after an abysmal performance against the Cowboys and another abysmal performance against the Patriots. Fans and the media were calling for him to be replaced immediately, right? We were talking about Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan. Colin Kaepernick even wrote a letter to the team saying he would run the scout team. So the only real possibility was Kirk Cousins, right? Trading for Kirk. But to be honest, he had already burned us a few seasons ago when he used us as leverage to get a contract by the Vikings. So the fact that they haven't brought in anyone besides Trevor Siemian, who's still on the practice squad, it just shows me that they're sticking with Zach. And to be honest, Zach was and still is the best option at QB following Aaron Rodgers going down. Zach shocked the world, to be quite honest with you, with his play on Sunday night against the Chiefs. Obviously, that game was supposed to be a Rodgers versus Mahomes, but Zach stepped up in primetime television and played better than Patrick Mahomes. And I can't believe I'm even saying that sentence, right? Against both the Broncos and the Eagles, he continued to show improvements. His understanding of the quarterback position is going up, and I'm finally, like I said in previous videos, I'm starting to see the light flicker on in his head. Even in the preseason, to be quite honest with you, it was obvious that Zach had made some immediate improvements to his play. He's now making the easy throws. He's not dirting balls anymore. He's not sailing passes over the heads of checkdowns. He's no longer rolling out of the pocket and taking a major sack or throwing it directly into the secondary for an interception. He's standing tall in the pocket. He's stepping up. He's not getting rattled, and he's making the right reads. You know, outside of that multi-pick game against the Cowboys, Zach has played largely turnover-free football, and that is a major improvement from last year. His decision-making is not just apparent on the field, but it's in his off-field actions as well. He seems to have seriously matured this offseason, which is evident in both his interactions with the media and with his teammates. There's no more throwing teammates under the bus. Zach is willing to take the blame when necessary, and it looks like he's actually stepping up as a leader of this team. His arm talent is obvious, right? When he has time to throw, he can fit the ball into any window at any point on the field. He legitimately had throws this season that remind me of old Aaron Rodgers films. You have the touchdown throw to Lazard in the Chiefs game. You have that back shoulder to Ruckert also in the Chiefs game. You had the 2-point conversion to Randall Cobb against the Eagles. These throws are incredible. truly incredible, and they just show off his arm strength and his accuracy. Again, this is all because he feels like he has time, he's trusting the offensive line, and he's delivering balls where they need to be on time. All right, so let's get down into the nitty-gritty, okay? Here are 4 things that the Jets need to do in order to keep Zach improving this year. The first thing is Nathaniel Hackett has to keep emphasizing the run. They have to keep feeding Breece Hall the ball. Zach has looked exceptional in play-action passing. Think about when he was hiding the ball on the touchdown pass to Uzama in the Chiefs game. When he has time in the pocket, he can actually dissect a defense and make the right throw for a big gain. Number 2, Garrett Wilson has to remain healthy. G-Dubs is 100% necessary for this offense. Losing him would be devastating for Zach, especially with some pretty poor depth behind him. Look for Joe Douglas to make a move at the trade deadline if Zach continues playing well, and try to get him another weapon to throw to. Number 3, and this is probably the most important, is that Zach has to continue playing within the confines of the offense and stop playing hero ball. Only once this season did we see a game get away from him, and that was against the Cowboys. With the exception of the first pick, the other picks he threw were in garbage time, where Zach was honestly trying to make a play to get us back into the game. So I don't necessarily fault him for this. I hope to see no more multi-turnover games from him. And finally, and we all know this, the offense has got to improve in the red zone. If you just look at the box score, you could argue that Zach is a pretty mediocre quarterback. But with the current team we have, all we need for success is an average to best game manager behind center. Exceptional QB play would be great. Aaron Rodgers would be great. But we don't have that. We have Zach Wilson, who is actually slowly getting better. But this red zone offense, the play calling by Nathaniel Hackett, has to get better. We have to see more runs. We have to see more play action. And honestly, Zach has to be a little bit more patient. We saw a few times where he was getting ahead of himself and making a read where if he just waited a little bit longer and the line would hold up, someone was going to come free. So it's a multitude of things right now with the red zone offense. Let's just hope that they can get it all on the right track during the bye week. Look, guys, we really need to be super optimistic at this point. Zach is improving, and I think a realistic expectation for him this season would be like 20 to 24 touchdowns, 10 to 12 interceptions. Obviously, I would like it to be better than that, but that's really where I see him landing this year. You know, with competent QB play from Zach and continued defensive dominance, the Jets have an opportunity to win a lot of football games this year, especially as the schedule gets a little better. And who knows, maybe this is all setting up for a grand return of Aaron this year. We'll see.